What's going on today, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Since the paint unveil, I got quite a few subscribers from that, so thank you guys for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Cab is coming, both the cab and the bed are coming off because this frame is going to be getting painted. Me and my buddy Bailey, the one that helped me get some shots for the paint unveil, are going to be painting the frame. So we need to get to work on that. So that's another thing I need more room for. The cab, I'm just gonna hang from those beams with a couple straps, and the bed's gonna have to come off, and I'd really like for it to go there, but I have a Ranger right there, so I don't know if that's gonna happen right away. Hopefully the truck will sell fast once it does get listed, but we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. So with that being said, I think you all can figure out what this video is gonna be on. We're gonna be pulling the cab off of the frame. So since there's like literally nothing left of this truck, I mean, it's the cab, the bed, the frame, and some wiring. This is gonna be like extremely ridiculously easy to pull a cab off of. So I think what this is gonna turn into is disconnecting some wires, and that's gonna be about it as far as like normal truck stuff. So since we have literally nothing left of the truck, pulling this cab is gonna be a piece of cake. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure all this wiring is free and can go up with the cab. I think is what I want to do. I'm trying to think, all of this wiring is gonna like, this is all gonna come off. This is all gonna be gone, except that. Like, none of this is gonna stay. So, I'm trying to think if I wanna get rid of all of this or not. I think what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna worry about the wiring and stuff later. I'll just kind of tuck it up onto the cab for when we take it up in the air. And I'll kind of worry about it once we get ready to get the cab back down. Worst case scenario, if it's really in the way, which it won't be, I could always climb up there and do whatever I need to do. But the only thing other than that, there's nothing else coming out of the cab attaching it to the frame, other than the cab mounts. You got one here, and it looks like you have your back ones that goes through the cab under the back seat, and it comes down through here. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume that bolt head, they somehow have it fixed in there, but I don't know because it's under the back seat. I've never pulled the back seat. I've never pulled the flooring up under the back seat. I've never pulled the cab on an 86 or anything old like this. So we're kind of going into this blind, but that's all right because that's how we learn stuff. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. It out, but we got it. We got the brake lines disconnected from the distribution block, and we also got our steering shaft disconnected, and we got all of our wiring just kind of chilling up there out of the way, safe so it's not going to fall on us while we're doing stuff to the frame. So now what we're going to do is, as far as I know, that is completely it that needs disconnected from the cab, other than the cab mounts. I was going to grind these cab mounts off, but I don't really want to. So I might just kind of see if the nut wants to come off for right now on the front ones, and then grind the cab mount off later at the rivets, because it's going to need painted under there, so that's got to come off. So I think I'm just going to kind of not do that right this second, and see if this nut wants to come right off or not, and then I'll catch up with you guys after that. So I actually just learned something really cool. So when I had originally taken like the rubber mat out of this, I seen like this cover plate on each side. It's got it over there. You can't see, it's too dark. There we go. That. I seen it on each side and I didn't know what it was for. Well, the cab mount, the front cab mount bolt goes through there. So you hold the nut down here that y'all see me try to take off, and then you come up here and you take the bolt out from up here, and then that one stays. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that. All right, so we got that one. Now we're gonna hop to the other side. Alright guys, so we got both front cab mount bolts pulled. We're gonna go ahead and call it a day there. I'll probably, tomorrow after work I'll be able to get in here and we'll be able to get those rear ones pulled. I have a feeling we're gonna have to get this back seat out, and they're gonna be under there, under this mat as well, just like the front ones, but we will have to wait and see. So I will catch you guys tomorrow. What's up guys, it is now Wednesday. So obviously we got pretty much the whole front half of the cab unbolted, everything disconnected, ready to get this cab up on that beam. So with that, that means we only have 2 bolts left in the back that hold the back part of the cab on. Yesterday I learned that the bolt itself goes through the cab and there's an access panel to get to it. I kind of assumed we would just take the nut off that we can see sticking down through the bottom of the cab, but that wasn't the case for the front. So I have a feeling that's not going to be the case for the rear either, but we're just going to have to jump into it and find out. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. We're going to start by, we're going to see if the rear cab mounts, the nuts will just come off. But like I said, I have a feeling we're not going to, but we're not going to know unless we jump into it. So let's hop to it. So I guess that means we're gonna be getting in the truck and taking the back seat out, but we got a mess in here, so we're gonna clean this mess up and then we'll get to taking the back seat out. All right guys, so we got this all cleaned out. There wasn't as much as I thought there was, but anyway, so it's looking like just this bracket here at the front of the seat is the only thing that holds the front part down, and there's 2 bolts. They look like they might be 11s, and it's like that on the other side as well. So we're gonna go ahead and get these taken off and then get this, at least bottom part of the back seat, pulled out. Alright guys, well, wouldn't you know it, it's pretty dirty there again. I don't really want to work in that, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and sweep this out real quick, and then we'll probably just pull this whole mat out because I'm not gonna use it again anyway, and we gotta pull it up at least partially to get to the rear cab mount. So in my mind, we might as well just take it out the rest of the way. So we're gonna do that, and I'll catch up with you guys once we get done with that. And just like that, we're all cleaned up, and also the back part of the seat is out. I wish that was that easy. Alright guys, so we got the back swept out, and we got the rest of the back seat pulled out. Guys, I don't even know what I'm gonna do for a back seat, if I'm even going to, because eventually this is gonna turn into a crew cab truck, but not right now. It'll be later on down the road, because this is big enough as a project as of now than adding on a crew cab. And then you gotta find a short bed, and then you've gotta do all that. No, I'm good. I'll stick with this for right now. So anyway, we got everything all cleaned up. We're gonna get ready to pull this mat out here, because like I said, I'm not gonna use it anymore. And we'll get that pulled out, and then we'll get the rear cab bolts pulled out. So we finally got the carpet pulled out, and wow, does this look good. I really wish this truck was still this blue, because I would not be wrapping it or painting it or anything. I love that color. I love it. I wish the whole truck was still that color. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna zip on this bolt, and we're gonna see if we gotta hold the bottom one or not. I hope we don't. Because if that's the case, I'm going to have to find a second person to help me with this. We'll find out. I'm freaking astonished. That's awesome. Like, it just came right out. No issues. It didn't break. That's awesome. Alright, so now we're to the dilemma that I wasn't expecting to have happen this fast. How to lift the cab up. Give me a minute, I'm gonna have to think on this one. What is going on today, guys? It is now Sunday. We had a big gap there. Just got busy with stuff. So what I did well, originally I went and bought a 3,500 pound winch, which is way more than what we need, from the store. And then I went to my uncle's house to get my straps back out of his toolbox from his truck from when we took stuff to paint and sandblast. And he ended up having a 2,000 pound winch laying around. I was like, well, alright, I'm gonna go take this back and I'm gonna steal his. Not really steal, but he kind of offered to give it to me so I could use it for this. So, worked out, saved me some money. So we're good to go. So like the mounting platform of this winch, it's kind of like small and chintzy and it needs beefed up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna find a piece of metal and drill some holes in it. Drill some holes in the winch, like where the winch would normally mount. So we'll have 4 mounting points. Bolt it to that piece of metal, and then we'll bolt the piece of metal up there. Now, obviously you can tell the light would be in the way, so I was looking at it, trying to figure out what I was gonna do. We'll be able to mount the winch on the back side. I mean, it's not any different from if I'd mount it on the front side. The only issue with that is the cab's gonna want to twist, but it's gonna want to twist anyway whenever we start to lift it off. So I'll just have to get some help holding the cab steady. And I'm also pretty sure I'm going to have to extend some wires from this winch, because they didn't make them very long, because they're for a vehicle, not from the ceiling down to the ground. So we'll be doing all that stuff, and then we'll run the straps through the holes, like through some mounting holes in the cab. We'll put like a bolt through, through a hole like this or something like that at each corner. And since the front of the cab is going to weigh quite a bit more, we'll have to tighten up the front of the cab to the winch, and then just kind of, let the the back straps just kind of, you know, hold the rear. So that's our game plan. So with that being said, we're gonna go find a piece of metal somewhere and start getting this stuff made for this winch. So we went to the hardware store and got some new bolts for this whole disastrous setup. So we drilled holes in the like 3/16 inch steel plate that we cut out from a piece of metal that I had found, and I got all 4 holes drilled for the bolts for this winch. To get it drilled through there, and then I got them real extra long so they can go all the way through the beam up there as well. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and take this plate up on top of the truck with me and mark where I want these bolts to be on the plate, and then I'll come back down and drill it all out. Alright guys, so we finally got all of our holes drilled in this steel plate. I haven't drilled them up there in the beam yet. I'm going to go ahead and do that here in a minute. Just want to let you guys know that we got that done. We have our bolts lined up here, or already in the holes of the winch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up there, drill the holes out, and then we'll get everything mounted up, and then we're going to call it a night. It's pretty late. And then we'll get to getting ready to pull the cab off either tomorrow or Wednesday, one of the two. Alright guys, we are back once again. So you guys got the gist of what's going on. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and blab. Let's get this cab off. Alright guys, as you just seen, we got our plate bolted up to the beam going across the top of the cab. I ended up getting the bolts too long originally, so I had to go back to the store and get shorter ones. No big deal. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this winch up and get that bolted up on there. Then we'll have to do some wiring stuff because the battery is not going to fit up there in the ceiling. So I'll have to run some extra long wires to hook up to a battery. And then we'll be good to go. So we're going to get to it. Alright guys, there you have it. We have it all bolted up to this beam here. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna get all this stuff cleaned off, get the sawdust, or the wood, yeah, sawdust off of the top of the cab, get everything off of here. What is going on today, guys? Today is a new day, and I think it should be the final day for pulling the cab off. So literally just a couple hours ago, I got the bed pull-off video edited, and I don't even think it's posted yet because I posted it to happen at 3 o'clock, and it is now 1:38. So we're hustling. We're trying to get this stuff done. You know, I gotta make up for all my slacking. So we already have the winch set up. We have the ratchet straps set up. How we're gonna use those to balance the cab out, tighten them up, and we already have the ratchet straps run through the hook. Attached to the winch, and we also have our 6x6s that we're going to be using cut to height. If I did my math right, it'll work, but I don't know, it's looking a little goofy. We'll figure it out. Alright guys, we just got both of our stands built. Obviously we're going to run 2x4s, you know, from side to side at both the front and the back once they're under the cab though. So we're good to go on that. We're going to go ahead and I think slowly maybe try picking up the cab and see what happens. I'm gonna assume we're gonna have to mess with the strap some, but I'm not sure. But we'll find out here in a couple minutes. Alright guys, so this is our current situation. It's not as bad as yesterday, but it obviously did not go as planned. So obviously the front of the cab of a truck is gonna weigh more. There's just way more up there than there is the back of the cab. So what I did originally was I lifted the front just like an inch off of the frame, so I knew that the front was heavier, you know, it had more stress on the straps, and then I hooked up the back and made it kind of tight, but it still just continued to drop the front. So I'm gonna again. I'm waiting on Tyler to get here right now, and then what we'll do is I have the back straps still on. And he's gonna hit the winch, and then I'll use the skid loader with the forks here to lift up the front. And you don't really want to go to just anywhere on the body. You could go through or dent, you know, the metal or whatever. So I'm gonna go right on that pinch weld there, above where the bell housing for the transmission would go. That's where I'm gonna hit with the forks, so it's strong and doesn't bend anything or screw anything up. So that's where we're at right now. That's about all that's going on. So I'll catch up with you guys when Tyler gets here and we're lifting the cab up. Alright guys, and there you have it. Our cab is up in the air. This thing is so freaking tall up in the air, it's literally insane. I mean, we have so much room here to work on our frame. Now, with all this room, so we were talking about it earlier, what to do as far as frame wise. It's going to be a whole lot easier. Had to turn the light on so you guys could see better. But so we have these 2x4s going through, bracing it so it can't flop side to side. What we're going to do, probably next 2 or 3 videos here, we're going to take these 2x4s off, and we're going to take the skid steer that we've been using and put it at the front of the frame, and then we're going to have 2 or 3 people at the back of the frame, and we're going to kind of walk it out. That way we're not getting all this oil and grease and all that nasty stuff off in here, because it'll be way easier. I wouldn't have to clean anything up outside, and in here it would just be a complete disaster. I think what I'm going to do next video is I'm going to completely strip this frame down, get all the brake lines, the fuel lines, all these lines and wires and everything still on the frame, get the rear fuel tank out still, and just completely strip it so it's still it's a completely bare frame. So it's going to be, there's going to be no nooks and crannies that I'm going to have to fight with when I'm cleaning it, washing it, whatever. And then it'll just be, you know, a nice, easy, bare frame to work with. And then what I'm going to end up doing after that is I'm going to put the frame straight in here. We're going to figure something out with this Ranger situation. The reason it has to be parked so much forward is because I have the parts right here. So we're going to figure something out for that, but it'll be way easier to do. All the sanding, if we use a wire wheel, and the paint, we'll have way more room. We won't have to climb in and out of these beams. We'll have complete open space to do all this work that we're going to be doing to the frame. I don't know if they watch these videos, but between Jeff and Tyler, none of this at all would have happened this weekend. So I can't thank either of them guys enough. I mean, that's literally what it is. I can't thank them enough. So that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Thank you guys for sticking around and watching, for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Definitely keep sharing this stuff. It's, like I said in the bed removal video, it means more than you guys even know to me. If you guys haven't already, make sure you get down there and click that subscribe button, and hit the little bell notification next to it so you get a notification every time I've posted or I'm going to post. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll set it as a premiere, so like half an hour before the video is going to post, you'll get a notification as well, saying a video is going to pop up here in about half an hour. So you guys always know when I'm posting and when something big, you know, we're pretty much doing all big stuff from here on out. It's going to be coming up and you guys can watch it. So once again, guys, thank you for all your support. It means a lot, and I will catch you guys next time.